Left in the pinkish greenish. Louisville City, of course, in their customary purples. We are underway from Lynn Family Stadium. Louisville City hosting OKC Energy. For Louisville, it was defeat last time out at the weekend against FC Tulsa in a busy week. They'll play 3 matches in 8 days. On Saturday afternoon, it was a 3-2 defeat at the hands of FC Tulsa. They went 3-0 down in the first half, in the first 20 minutes to boot. They did manage to muster up a comeback with Kyle Gregg and Cameron Lancaster, getting 2 goals, but not enough to scratch out a point away at One Oak Field. Meanwhile, for OKC Energy, it was on their way towards a draw at home against Indy 11 on Saturday, but the match called off in the second half due to lightning, so that one is postponed. They'll replay it at a later date as it's long over the top up towards Lancaster, doing well to marshal Lancaster's Mitchell Osman and claimed by Kyle Ein. So for OKC Energy, it is 10 points from their last available 12 under their new coach, Lee Wiedman, who's promoted from being assistant manager, taking over for John Pascarella. Only had 1 win in his 23 matches in charge of OKC Energy, and it's been a remarkable turnaround for a club that went 2 years without winning at home, having 3 wins and 10 points for their last available 5 matches towards those playoff places, as Mitchell Osman will slide it with his central defensive partner and club captain Connor Donovan for that central defensive pair. Alone there from Ein. I'm curious how much Energy FC are impacted by the change in goal. Ein, who did have previous with the coaching staff from Des Moines Menace, the USL League 2 club, one of the bigger ones. It's Corbin Bone under a bit of pressure in the middle. McMahon. As Gómez plays nice right-footed pass in the feet of Niall McCabe, the Irishman, who's been with Louisville since 2015, as McMahon plays towards the penalty area. First-time strike from Lancaster was well caught, but always going wide of target.
Quality build, though, from Louisville City, and the energy the opening 15-20 minutes from both of these squads is going to be one to watch. I made reference to the fact that Energy FC like to get on the front foot, grab a goal, and sit back. Lou City knows exactly what that's all about. The fury that comes out of the home squad in the opening 20-25 minutes is almost unmatched throughout, I should say, the entire USL Championship.
There is Lee Wiedman, the Liverpudlian. Came over to the U.S., as many English soccer players do, to collegiately. Stuck around. Been here for 17 years, he was telling us this morning on our call with him. He's progressed his way up, and one thing that's been interesting for him is he's worked his way up the levels, now being a professional setup, and now in charge of a professional setup, is working way through youth ranks. He's telling us that it's difficult to delegate because you're so used to just doing everything yourself, but it's one of the things he's had to learn now in charge of Oklahoma City. As Lancaster will play it in behind towards Brian Ownby. He's on a brilliant run of form. 2 goals and 4 assists in his last 6, as it's low through the penalty area there from Corbin Bone, but cleared only as far as Pat McMahon. Ownby again. Behind there towards the run of McLaughlin, whose cross comes off of Robert Coronado and out for a corner to Lou City. And this will be a Vivify corner. The first of the matches to be taken by Jonathan Gómez. We'll certainly talk plenty about him on this broadcast. As was reported yesterday by The Athletic, he is on his way. Transfer to La Liga, to Real Sociedad. Plenty of fallout from that as he delivers it into the penalty area. Ownby just trying to flick it towards goal as it went beyond Pat McMahon, and Ownby trying to improvise the finish, but it's gone wayward and out for a goal kick.
It's a quality start, though, from Louisville City for Energy FC. Can they weather this storm? This team has become so good at high pressure, the tempo, rotation. in general, yet alone at the start of a match.
McCabe lining one up and forces Kyle Line into his first save of the match. Well caught there by the Irishman. A couple of decent long-range efforts here from Louisville in the opening 5 minutes as they go again through McCabe. Comes for Corbin Bone. Early pressures McLaughlin now. Can run here at Ellis Hayden. McLaughlin trying to find Lancaster in that penalty area, but dealt with there by Osman. GFC up against it at the moment. Trying to break out there was Aiden Daniels, but couldn't quite emerge. And now we'll hold on to possession here for Denny Cruz's side, who have been scoring plenty of goals, but conceding a fair few as well. 8 given away in their last 3. Certainly, if you're looking at the entertainment factor, goals scored versus goals conceded, you won't do much better than Louisville City. As doing well to break forward there is Daniels. He'll slide it wide for Lopez in towards the penalty area with Bijev, but dealt with there by Louisville at the back as the ball just a bit tame.
I'm pretty sure Danny Cruz would have a couple words with you on that one. Entertainment for sure, but he'd like to stop conceding, right? The way they've been going on the back line.
Well, they might have a chance to score here as Ian came off his line. Was always the favorite to get there ahead of Omby, but had to play with his feet. Did so very calmly to find Coronado. What for you could Louisville do just to lock things down a bit?
Well, it's funny that when you look at their performances in general, it's easy in the FC Tulsa matchup to just say, play better. I mean, literally, it's one of those things. I was chatting with Mike Watts about this on USL All Access, Chris, and I said, was FC Tulsa that good or was Louisville that bad? He tried to make a pretty compelling case for FC Tulsa, but I tend to side with the latter and the fact that Lou City just didn't perform well. Danny Cruz knows it. The players know it. It just wasn't up to snuff. So that's the most important thing, is to stop second guessing themselves in their movements. You know, this is a team that carries such good structure and always has great balance. They haven't had that. And so if you watch on the defensive front, a lot of times where that shiftiness comes from moving forward defensively, they've struggled with it in that transitional defending, the offensive defending, right, where they push up and the whole unit doesn't come. Whereas they're tracking back, one player over-rotates on one side and they don't get the coverage on the other. If they just go back to how they normally defend, they'll be just fine. Keep the mark in front of you. As the ball shifts side to side, watch the space, watch the communication. That's what we know from Lou City, and they just haven't known it of themselves the past couple of games.
Just a bit overcooked there on the long ball from Charlie Ward. There is Danny Cruz in charge of the side on an interim basis, as the technical director here as well at Louisville City, in charge of player development of players like Jonathan Gómez and a few of the academy products, including Joshua Winder, who's on the bench. Potentially make his 2021 debut. That's a free kick given away there by Omby. Slow to get up there is Coronado. Here from La Habra in California. He's actually gone down again. With a fair bit of pain there in his right leg.
Well, this is not a conversation they're willing to have right now, as he's just wincing now. Agonizing on the little turn here, and you see comes down awkward, and there's a little knock for sure, but it's almost like his foot gets caught up in the turf and tries to catch up.
It's as much about the twisting motion as it is about the contact.
Yep, that turn right in through it. The contact, there really isn't much to write home about. Just had this conversation, is Coronado the #1 decision there, and they said absolutely, he's penned in every single week. You look at someone like Sam Rogers, also picked up Declan Wynn on loan from Phoenix Rising, though they're still waiting for the visas to come through, and it will be Sam Rogers, it looks like, immediately. That's the balance that out of the outside backs in this attack they love. Coronado, Zach Ellis Hayden, they take chances, they fly up and down the wing. Haven't even had the opportunity to get into that conversation, as he is immediately going down through the tunnel. Hope that he's going to be all right.
And as you mentioned, Devin, it will be Sam Rogers, the player who joined ahead of the season from Tacoma Defiance, the USL team linked with Seattle Sounders. 22-year-old from Seattle, make his 9th appearance of the year. You mentioned how important Coronado is to the Energy side. Started all but one game in this season. player who's moved out to fullback from central midfield where he initially developed. And now Rogers gets the encouragement from his manager and will now have an 80-minute substitute appearance here as Robert Coronado has been sat down with an injury. Now, here's how it does affect the tactics here of GAFC and Lee Wiedemann. Hein. You can see how far forward the fullbacks there. Ellis Hayden is almost the primary forward target. Appeals for handball there from the Oklahoma City right back. With the pressure, GAFC forced back to their goalkeeper quite a bit. A lot of distribution work to do here for Kyle Line. Got it down there by Aiden Daniels. Now Rogers with his first touch. Louisville with a very attacking posture here, trying to force OKC Energy into mistakes, but calmly playing through it as it finds Vasiljevic. See, in terms of temperament, unbothered by the press for the moment, but that can change very quickly as Ellis Hayden has it poked off in there by McLaughlin, out for a throw. Ellis Hayden, one of a few players in this side, formerly with Fresno FC in the USL Championship. Vasiljevic as Lancaster gets pulled at and then fouled. Ombi will come forward. Advantage awarded by referee Thomas Snyder. Now Ombi weaving through multiple players, tried to find the run there of Bone, who was in space with a very tight defensive shape there from OKC Energy, but unable to thread that ball through. Now Bijev, he peeled for a foul. Unmoved is the referee.
One of the issues you run into for Energy FC is on these counters is where are the boys up top? Frank Lopez and Villiam Bijev, they do a lot of work defensively, but they can also very easily get spread thin because of the way that they like to press with them and because of the rotation they ask out of them. So as you start to quick counter for Energy FC, it's a good look up by Sam Rogers, finds Bijev, but then it's a one-off. You know, you're 1v4 running against Lou City. That's not a good combination for him.
Another corner to come here as Ombi's delivery comes harmlessly off of Daniels, but it leads to yet another set piece.
Actually quite interested to see how much they send Sam Rogers now, because he doesn't carry the same attacking prowess you see out of Coronado at that outside back spot. You already mentioned his progression as a professional, Chris, starting as a center midfielder, moving on to the back line. He's actually a center back by trade. Great vision. You know, he wore the captain's armband for a little bit of time there. Transition from Sounders 2 to Tacoma Defiance. Connor Donovan has talked his way into one here. But now how does that translate when you're in a marking back position against a very active team on this right flank of Lou City?
The referee has shown a vivify yellow card to Connor Donovan. That was for that earlier challenge quite a bit earlier ago to Cameron Lancaster. Advantage was awarded, but the referee issuing discipline as the corner comes in, and it's not at home for Louisville to take the early lead. It's Wes Sharpie forward for the corner from center back, and Louisville have hit the front in the opening quarter of an hour.
The pressure has been beating on this dam that is Energy FC's back line for the opening 14 minutes. How much could it take was the question coming in. Really only one reprieve. We saw it moments ago. And wave after wave gets sent in by Lou City. Overlapping runs from the outside, ball straight down the middle. And now the set piece opportunity. Dead ball from the corner. Guess who? Jogo. Don't care that it's from the run of play. That's the confidence you want from your outside back. And you've now combined with Wes Sharpie, who continues to show that he can play at quite the high level at any position asked within this squad.
And Sharpie getting his second goal of the year. If you look at back four for Louisville City tonight, now 5 goals between them. You also have the goal of Alexis Suahi on the bench. Bit prolific, this defense. And for Gómez, now a 3rd assist on the campaign. His 5th goal contribution in 10 games from fullback. Let's see why a club from Spain might want him.
It's not too bad, right?
Pretty decent, but Louisville received their fair share of criticism for the size of the fee for a young talent going to La Liga. $100,000 is reported by The Athletic. It's in towards Lancaster. More extenuating circumstances as Gómez's contract does expire at the end of the season per a clause in his contract. So Louisville just getting what they can. And now Daniels will come forward with Bijev. He'll have a go. It's into the goal scorer, Sharpie. Gómez to get rid and doing well to loft it towards McLaughlin. Now Osmond. It seems as though Sam Rogers is playing that left fullback position a little bit more conservatively than Coronado was. Nolan posted up on the halfway line. Osmond. Here we go with Indy 11. Just an idea there to break lines to try and find Bijev, former Sacramento Republic attacker. There by Rogers. It looked like he went shoulder to shoulder in there with Omby, but referee awarding a free kick to Louisville.
And another one of the list for Energy FC and what this can look like under Lee Wiedemann. Here's Sam Rogers matched up against the aforementioned Brian Ownby. This team's gone behind quite a few times this year. Unfortunately, only twice they managed to work their way back into a match. 1-1 draw. Indy 11 back on June 2nd. 25 days later, the 2-1 victory over Atlanta United 2. It's the only time they've been able to score points out of that, Chris. So what can you now do on the road, as most people call the cathedral of the USL Championship, Lynn Family Stadium?
Now home to Louisville, moving from Slugger Field. Also now home to Racing Louisville. The NWSL as Omby towards the byline, tries to pull back. It's so good in service from wide areas. That time cut out, but McMahon pressing high up the pitch. The 34-year-old, very well-traveled career in American soccer in his 4th season with Louisville, earning the throw and taking it there. McCabe, the bleach blonde hair going down there, earning the sympathy of the referee as now Bijev can break. Needs some help though as Bone tried to go in for the challenge, but Bijev has gone in beyond him and now sliding behind towards Frank Lopez. A full stretch is shoved over there by Sharpie, but the referee is actually going to award advantage there as Bijev was taken down. Lopez thought that he got fouled as well, right on the edge of the penalty area. And it's going to be a yellow card shown here by Thomas Snyder.
The sequence itself is an interesting one. Actually, it looked like now McCabe got fouled on the other end of the field.
It's going to be Corbin Bone who will take the yellow card here.
First one back on Bijev, who looked like he get a little touch, not that much in it, but a little knock for sure. And then the second one on Lopez, that was the argument from the sideline, looked to be even worse. They're not wrong. Overextension of the arm by Wes Sharpie. Definitely got a touch on it if you're Frank Lopez. That's space to work with as well.
Also in the aftermath, Pat McMahon has also received a yellow card. So he receiving a talking to from referee Thomas Snyder. He's had a lot of work to do here in the opening 20 minutes. Those are yellow cards shown by the referee to Pat McMahon. He's going to get the yellow card. And we're being told that it was an initial error by the referee, so Bone did not get a yellow, despite the fact that we saw it. But I think the referee was just clearing up a case of mistaken identity there. So it is only just the one yellow card shown to Pat McMahon. That is a Vivify yellow card. So a free kick to come here for OKC Energy as Aiden Daniels will line it up. You can see the Louisville defense lined up on that 18-yard line. Is lofted towards the back post. Certainly an opportunity on Osman trying to take it out of the air. Will come here for Frank Lopez. Just tries to strike it anywhere towards goal. Did carry him out off the purple shirt. Now for a corner to Energy FC.
A little bit of a high boot on that right there. Surprised they don't blow the whistle with the challenge by Mitch Osman on Tyler Gibson in the box. Looked to be dangerous play.
Now what can OKC do with the set piece? Looking to find a response from a Louisville City set piece that was converted. Villian Bijev over to take it. He'll go for a lofted delivery. Osman to keep it in play. He will do so. Just a piece of equipment on the way. Now carrying out here, Sean Tosh. Warding off the challenge. Tosh, who can't achieve a milestone tonight, just has to make it 55 minutes, and who will have eclipsed 10,000 career minutes for Louisville City. Part of a core of players that have won a couple of championships. Reached another final, reached another conference final. You see remarkable stability, particularly for the club in the USL Championship here in Louisville. McMahon. Trying to cut inside, was clipped there by Hiroki Kurimoto, but the referee allowing play on. And now the referee will pull it back. Kurimoto, the Japanese player, with Honda FC in Japan's 4th tier before coming over to the U.S. Earned his spot via an open tryout with Fresno, applying his trade in Oklahoma. Gómez. Shifting here, shifting there. Laying it off with McLaughlin. We'll try a lofted delivery in towards Ownby, who did anything he could to get around Sam Rogers there, including fouling him. It'll be a free kick to the visitors.
A reminder, you can go around, you can't go through. So, IFAB rulebook wasn't something put in the cliff notes for Brian Ownby on the back post here. Olympics are close around the corner, a little high jump.
As this match is presented by Toyota. Let's go places.
Be ready. Close, be ready.
Halfway through the opening half of play. Louisville with the goal, courtesy of Wes Sharpie. The 28-year-old, his second season after joining from Memphis 901. Just got the goal for Danny Cruz, and I know that Louisville is certainly well capable of adding to that, but also capable of allowing OKC Energy a route back in. The pressing for the moment. That's forced to give away there by Charlie Ward. Puts it out to touch now for the first time tonight.
He's an interesting one with Sharpie. Not just, obviously the goal is great and what he brings to the team, but the fact that you can slide him within a 3 or on that back 4, playing pretty much anywhere, outside back or centrally located. Thought he could have been a starter to kick the campaign off. An injury to pretty much everybody within this team. It was funny how basically 10 weeks without injuries whatsoever, and then Sharpie gets hurt. He was pushing on the starter role. Abdujam, of course, with his broken leg, dislocated ankle. Jorge Gonzalez, Antoine Opino. He was just part of that flurry of injuries. Worked his way back in nicely, though, and again, for Danny Cruz, what a versatile option to have. Just recently starting at outside back, but now a chance to solidify that spot alongside Sean Tosh.
Will be McCabe with the right-footed delivery from the left. Swung in towards that 6-yard box. You can see McMahon threatening, but it's Osman who won the header. Now Lopez just trying to flick it on there towards the run of Ellis Hayden. Did well to hold the ball up there, Frank Lopez. We did score in the postponed match at the weekend for OKC Energy against Indy 11. McMahon has won it back for Louisville, but that goal will not count towards his total. And his manager Lee Wiedemann was saying that he did appreciate the kind of positions that Lopez is getting in, just hasn't been able to put away the opportunities he gets for himself. And so in some ways, he can draw confidence of having scored a goal at the weekend, but his immensely frustrated that it doesn't count towards his total.
The good news is, though, is it's a step in the right direction. Last year, the 2020 season was almost a wash, not just because of COVID, but in terms of overall performances, he really struggled being away from his family, not having the opportunity to return home to Cuba to visit. Homesick was a word commonly used.
Good pressure to win the ball back, and OKC Energy now coming forward through Lopez there, trying to find Vasiljevic in behind, but just couldn't quite.
I honestly think that a lot of people forget, Chris, to be honest, myself included at certain points in time, that these are still people, right? That they do have lives, they have families, and it's easy to think, oh, they didn't play well in the 90 minutes. They couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, but it's much more than that. It's deep-seated. And for Frank Lopez, whether the signing with OKC, of course, the subsequent loaning to Sacramento Republic, just couldn't regularly put the ball in the back of the net. But everybody talked about lacking of confidence. That's not the case this year, right? He's at least putting himself in good spots and putting in the work. The finished product will eventually come. He's got the ideas that he wants to get it done. It's not the same thing we saw in 20.
Under some pressure there was Connor Donovan. Under duress there, courtesy of Brian Holmby. Just had to move it into him, earn his team a throw.
If you watch the defensive shape of Energy FC, just keep an eye. One area they can get themselves into trouble is the way that they like to attack. We've addressed it a little bit with Zach Ellis-Hayden and previously Coronado at outside, now Sam Rogers, although Rogers does sit a little bit more as they start to tuck their midfield in. Pretty condensed, so Aiden Daniels and Vasiljevic will pinch in, and they'll push the outside backs, even up high when they defend. So there's a lot of space to work in behind, and if you notice, a lot of the attacks for Lou City are already coming in that fashion. It's the diagonal balls down through the channels. It's easy to work from the exterior. As they start to progress through games, you will see that flatten out. You'll see Bichev, Frank Lopez start to close down the interior. Right now, they're just chasing a little bit more. They're looking to spring an attack and a turnover within the midfield.
As it's bent in behind towards Lancaster, you can appreciate the idea there, but easily claimed there by Ein. OKC Energy still playing their game and their style despite both the press, and also it's interesting to hear Lee Wiedemann saying he was looking forward to seeing his team playing on a field like the one that Louisville City have at their home ground. Really how big it is. So allows the game to be a bit more stretch. You see a lot of games on smaller size pitches, and Louisville, as you mentioned, the class facility of the league. Makes the game a lot different. Certainly that it used to be at Slugger Field. There's Bone playing it behind towards Gómez, who's making a decent run forward there from left back, and nearly well found there by Corbin Bone.
It takes adjusting from both sides in terms of the field size, Chris. This is 15 yards bigger than One Oak Field. The team that Energy, or the field, excuse me, that Energy FC is used to playing on, and that's not an easy change right away. You have to find your movements, that the subtle nuances that you have on a field that you're comfortable in terms of those sizing is, when you can get away with that extra step, or when you have to constrict it a little bit more. Here, you're not used to it. So you can take that extra step or two. You can knock that ball a little bit harder, and it takes some acclimatization to get into it, right? A little pitch back on it. Also, they play on turf.
Yeah.
This is some beautiful hybrid grass that they've put in here and take extra care of it. So you're not going to pick those little things up right away.
You can even see how Mitchell Osmond let the ball run in his own penalty area, just kind of played it out towards Donovan on a artificial surface. It might have run more than it did. Yep. Did find Connor Donovan. Do admire it. OKC Energy playing out from the back here. Not been able to really maintain full possession amongst this press. Sharpie. Tyler Gibson asked to play the holding role. Became the first player to cross the rivalry divide, moving from Indy 11 to Louisville on a permanent basis. Cut out there by Sam Rogers. He's on as a sub. In for the injured Robert Coronado. As it's in behind towards Lopez, the offside flag up on the far side. Just unable to time his run correctly. Center forward for OKC Energy.
Good step,
there.
right?
Yep.
Nice step. Really nice step by Wes Sharpie. To be fair, he was trailing a little bit.
Yeah.
So he needed to get his butt up. Everybody had already moved a higher line defensively. That long ball played by Tosh. They were already starting to chase Wes Sharpie, just trailing a little bit. Good recognition.
And covering across as well as Tosh stepped into midfield to try and press to win it back.
It's one of the luxuries. There are many that you get out of this unit. The fact that they're all, outside of Gómez, they have so much experience playing in a 3 or a 4, and they've played all of those positions within it. You know, McMahon's not going to sit centrally within a 3, but he's played the outside marking back spot. You can throw him into a wing back style. Now, is it optimal? Not necessarily, but he understands it, and that's the most important thing. We already talked about Sharpie, marking back 3, 4, center back, doesn't matter. Same thing for Sean Tosh. You know, going back to the 3 back under James O'Connor. Transition through to John Hackworth and what has become their 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. You know, so many different things from the mad scientist, as we came to call him. And now under Danny Cruz, it's just another step, right? There's an understanding for these players within this defensive unit of space, more importantly. Everybody likes to talk about formations and positions. The ideology that can sit within your organization has to be broken down to guys who truly understand where you're trying to attack and how you want to defend. And flat out, they get it. Simple enough.
Gómez cutting inside and just losing out there under the pressure of Ward. Now forward there from Daniels, but BJF unable to hold it up and win the ball in the air. And Louisville continue to pack on the pressure. McCabe doing a couple of pirouettes on the ball there. Spraying out for Pat McMahon. Of the 2 fullbacks is certainly been the more conservative one. Gómez has almost popped up as a winger at times. Louisville now playing in between the lines. Gibson, the orchestrator, finding a player they call Jogo. Moved to the club from the FC Dallas youth setup. Specifically cited, wanted to play for former manager John Hackworth. There from Chris Hubbard. Strong win in the air there from OKC Energy. And now it's all of a sudden come for Lopez, who's trying to cut inside, taken down. Referee waving away as Gibson just lofting it clear there for Tosh to deal with. Bit awkward there at the back there as Lopez nearly was able to pounce. Now Ownby. Lopez was trying to find a window to shoot with his right foot. Cutting inside, but eventually found too many purple shirts. But Danny Cruz, particularly considering the amount of goals they've conceded recently. With gas for air there. It's in behind.
I make the argument, the ball coming back through, that this is a foul on Tosh that Frank Lopez pushes in right here. Undercuts him a little bit. Referee lets him play on, then coming back through. Nope. Nothing there for me.
The challenge there from McMahon. Just kind of comes across him. Felt like his back leg was caught there, but referee unmoved.
You like the jerseys?
I would say they'd probably be good for Christmas.
Ooh.
Given the colors.
Festive.
Little Christmas in July, maybe?
I'm here for that. You're ahead of your time, man. I knew you were a giver, but Christmas present's 5 months early. You shouldn't have.
Now Ward trying to play through the pressure, doing well adrift, and he could have nearly just about given the ball away. Now this Hayden. Cross, it takes a deflection. And work to do here is Hubbard will just come off his line and claim the local kid in the team. Born in Louisville. Signed for his hometown club out of Notre Dame. Began initially as the club's 3rd choice keeper, but now become the regular starter. This is 11th start out of 12 matches. Only back up tonight. Parker Siegfried is taking the spot at any point. Mitchell Osman. Good feet there from Rogers. kind of at that stage. They managed to string a couple of passes together, but can't really break the press. That time, a fortunate deflection off of Gibson does at least get them a throw near halfway. Zachary Ellis Hayden. Playing his professional soccer in Canada, native countries from Ontario. Really in the lower leagues, was in USL League 2 with KW United. Earned himself into the side of Orlando City B. It's sliced towards Ownby, but got his real proper USL start with Fresno. Actually, he was signed on Pasquarella. That he was actually scouting him to play in MLS for Minnesota. First came across him. Certainly a decent rampaging fullback down that right. Now they'll come down this left through Aiden Daniels. Kind of got stuck under his feet, now trying to go inside there of McMahon. Could still get to that second ball, and Hubbard did just enough. Got beyond Pat McMahon there, who's, I think, frustrated there at the cover that came for him. As Aiden Daniels producing a chance. Free kick awarded to Louisville.
The 1v1 is not kind here to Pat McMahon. And how about the footwork by Daniels? Watch the little pull back behind just there. Turns the hips of Pat McMahon. He starts to cut in and then has to rotate back to the outside. Slows his momentum down. Daniels feels like he's got a clear-cut opportunity to cut through. That's not the case. Good step off by Hubbard. And the 1v1s, you do wonder at times. You have the sideline as your friend. Pat McMahon, so good at understanding how to use that to his advantage, but in open space, he can be broken down. And for the tacticians that are Basulovic and Aiden Daniels, underutilized here in the first half because of how much running they've had to do on the defensive side of the ball. Got to find a way to get the ball into them more.
Man came forward there, but lost out, and then took out Sam Rogers and trying to win it back. A free kick to Energy FC. Tune into ESPN2 Saturday, July 17th. That's this Saturday, as the USL and ESPN continues with a Mountain Division clash. Colorado Springs Switchbacks taking on San Antonio FC. Wiedner Field stepping into the national spotlight as a 2 p.m. matinee. Don't miss a second. Saturday, July 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Behind towards Carline. You hearing you on commentary for that one, Devin?
I will. I have a new partner, though.
Ooh.
Michael Watts is on sabbatical for the weekend.
Wow.
Decided to go play hide and seek somewhere in the Northeast, so I will be joined by Josh Eastern. Ooh. Awesome opportunity for Josh Eastern. Excited to be sitting alongside that young man. Just going over pronunciations today. Let him know that it's pronounced Kerr, not care.
Oh. Gotta make sure we get that right. Devon or Devin?
Yeah, it depends on my mood, to be honest. Sometimes I go by Devondra. You know? my friends have thrown in some interesting nicknames and acronyms for me over the years, so however the mood strikes me.
Rogers off of Ownby for a throw into OKC. We're 1 point off the playoffs. Last thing stand in the table. Appeals there from Danny Cruz for a throw-in, are heard by the assistant. Bit lax there from Energy FC in the build-up. Lovely Louisville evening. Tosh. Nice flick on there from McMahon. Any challenge came in there from Kurimoto, but now Ownby emerging with it. Cutting onto his left, on here for now. McCabe onto his right. Will squeeze here for Cameron Lancaster, who shot deflected. Corbin Bone trying to put it beyond Ein, who stuck a left foot out and got just enough on it to poke it wide for a corner. Pair of chances there for Louisville.
I'm not sure Kyline got the memo that he isn't the regular starter here, because the goalkeeper has to do some high quality adjusting here. Watch him already shifting to the right, gets back to his left, closes down the space, and then still little kick save at the end. You have to be impressed by the last minute defending here from Energy FC. Yes, they're broken down, but they are resilient. Well done to track back and only allowed just the one shot on goal, of course saved by their replacement goalkeeper.
Vivify corner to come here from Jonathan Gómez. Assisted the first goal. Can they get a second as McMahon going up? It's away there from Sam Rogers, but Omby will pick it up here, corner of the penalty area. Corbin Bone looked like for a moment he was going to line up to shoot. Now Gibson does. Spilled there by Iron for Lancaster, who makes no mistake and turns it into the back of the net. A 7th of the year for Cameron Lancaster, who's back to scoring goals, now at full fitness once more, and Louisville have doubled their lead before the break.
Last time he was in the 11, June 19th. That was that 3-2 victory against FC Tulsa. A lot has gone on since then. Taking personal offense to the assault on his scoring record put forth by Haji Berry at this moment. Lancaster says, hang on, boys. Don't forget who set that mark back in 2018. This is what you get out of Lancaster. He's so good in transition. Drop down into the pocket, but do not forget those tight-knit spaces just inside the 18. He doesn't mind turning into a poacher. He'll take him any way he can get him to double this one for Lou City.
He went to Nashville with the hopes of becoming an MLS center forward, but he looks comfortable in Louisville purple. Scored 26, as you mentioned, in 2018. And then upon returning for Louisville last year in a bridge schedule, scored 12 times. Now this year, just his 9th appearance, his 7th start. He's already on 7. Cameron Lancaster only does one thing in Louisville purple, and that is score goals. He's done so again, profiting from the spill there by Ein. Frustrated to push back the shot there from Gibson right towards the middle. Lancaster could punish. Does he have to push it wide there, given the looming danger of the Louisville number 17?
You would like him to, right? It's also given the way that they've had to take so much pressure in so many different areas. That's hard for a goalkeeper, Chris. I mean, you know as well as I do, when there's that much rotation and so many different options for a team, your brain is just spinning left and right and up and down. So just to be able to make the save in general, you're happy with. Protocol tells you, yes, away from the threat of danger. Could also make the argument that the secondary effort should never have been given up in the first place, given the numbers they had around them.
Louisville's pressure relenting. OKC just have not had enough of the ball. And tonight forced to concede a pair of goals in the first half. A good pocket of space here. Coming forward to Vasiljevic onto his right. Aiden Daniels, whose effort is not far away. Just bent beyond the top right corner there, but Daniels nearly picking out top bins.
We were talking about this in the build-up on the left-hand side where you get into one-on-one situations. His quick feet, you know, he understands now. There's that open space I talked about once again. Now, Pat McMahon is expecting the weak side help. Doesn't exactly get it. Daniels recognized that as well. Just step right into it. Little English on to pick out the upper corner.
And Hubbard is only going to watch that one nestle into the top corner, if not for slight inaccuracy in that effort. Osman.
Keep coming, Corbin. Good pass.
On the play going down this left for OKC Energies. Now Daniels again trying to get in behind. Tosh there to deal with it. Some solid play there. Calm from McMahon. Lofting it up towards Lancaster. Couldn't quite hold it up. Now Rogers with the shirt pull. Little play out of it. His first touch there from Kurimoto to carry on his way. The strong technical quality there from 31-year-old. Joined from Colorado Springs. Now become an every match starter for OKC Energy. Rather literally in 2021. Here he is on it again. To find one of those kinds of passes there just to get the ball forward. Lopez. Deliberating over his touches. The defensive record of Louisville would suggest that this game is not over, but OKC Energy have to find their foothold in the game, as they are doing. And plenty of numbers for the fullbacks hugging the chalk of the touchline. Here's Charlie Ward. Pulled there Lopez, and it will be a free kick in a decent area as we're now into stoppage time, which is presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. The referee has added a minimum of 2 minutes to be added at the end of this first half. Now Bijev will take it quickly. Daniel's trying to turn on it. Trying to catch Louisville out there. Viljan Bijev, the Bulgarian. Now back onto his right, sent in towards that penalty area. Diving header away. Appreciate the idea there from Bijev. Try to keep it in play, but instead went glancing off his forehead. Is that just a wasted opportunity there for former Sacramento Republic man?
100%. It's also the confidence that he's lacked, to be honest, over the past couple of seasons. And, you know, when I started the beginning of the season watching Energy FC, I actually was a little bit taken back by the fact they were using him so centrally located. It's worked nicely, though. And the fact that, you know, he's just wandering here a little bit, searching. You can understand the frustration as they've had to do so much chasing, Chris. Even now, like the quick little step up, it's Louisville plays this game of cat and mouse when they're playing out of the back, where they will put together 5, 6, 7 touches. But then there's that A to B to Z thing I talked about, where Sean Toston steps up and knocks a 45-yard bottle up over the top, right? Lancaster will drop in, he flicks it on. When you start to remove that forward-thinking process of guys like Bijev and Frank Lopez, it's like cutting off the head of the snake. You know, you remove the most important pieces offensively, and it's very difficult for this Energy FC team to create as many chances if they don't have those two. They're just not deep enough. It's as simple as that. Jaime Chavez, Jonathan Brown, those are your options, but they're at nowhere near the kind of form that you get out of Lopez and Bijev right now. So you got to find a way at halftime to start to reinstill some of that positive thinking, because chances like that are not going to be aplenty in the second half. Got to be able to close them out.
The free kick is actually taken on the ground. Where's that right side? Would have figured that someone was positioned there, but there was nobody. And there is the halftime whistle here at Lynn Family Stadium. Louisville 5 on target. LA Goals tonight presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. Kentucky Lottery as we're underway in the second half. Louisville City in front by 2-0, and you'd think here at the Lynn Family Stadium it would be a comfortable route to a victory, but in recent matches, in their last 3 in particular, they've conceded 8 goals. So it will be job on here for this second half as a halftime change made by Major Lee Feedman, with Tucker Stevenson coming on for Arun Vasiljevic. So change at the break, and now yellow card here coming here for Jonathan Gómez as he got involved there with Viljan Bijev, and off the ball there. It's a free kick in a decent position here for OKC Energy.
It's an interesting little start out of the locker room. There's that overlapping run we've expected to see from Zach Ellis-Hayden. Some extracurriculars behind the scenes.
It is Gómez, the player who's been a youth national teamer, both the U.S. and Mexico. You can see his look of frustration there. Now, an opportunity from a good range here. Referee Thomas Snyder will have to guide the Louisville players about 5 yards further back than they are now.
Well, both these boys have this in the bag too, Chris.
Ward,
left foot or right, easy enough here.
Ward and Bijev over it. See Ward motioning towards it as if he fancies it. Getting in position, takes a deep breath. 5 in the wall. To do a job here for Chris Hubbard. And it is Ward to take it. It's over the wall, but spilled there by Hubbard, only as far as Ellis-Hayden, whose return cross takes a deflection there off of McLaughlin and out for a corner, but solid work there from the Louisville keeper.
Exact opposite from what we saw in the first half from Energy FC. There's the save, Chris. That's what you're asking for out of Kyle Line in the first half. Good save by Hubbard. Bending away and down to that lower shoulder and to push it out of harm's way after the save. Quality goalkeeping.
26-year-old up to the challenge there, looking for his 4th clean sheet of 2021 as Bichev will take the corner. It's another of those lofted deliveries that's gone straight out of play. It draws the jeers from the Louisville supporters in behind that goal. Not the 28-year-old Bulgarian would have wanted.
Go! Go!
I think you're hearing the shouts there from the touchline from Lee Wiedman to go in terms of pressure.
Forward.
You can see Rogers moved to the defensive line. I believe OKC Energy, at least in this current disposition, look like they're in a back 3. Get a clearer tactical view of it. Devin will use his trained eye as well.
I'll take the blindfold off of that one.
Nodded forward there by Osman. And now Ward. Ellis Hayden certainly will be comfortable as a wing back. And a nice sprayed ball out towards that left. Towards the sub Tucker Stevenson in his 2nd season, joining from Sporting Kansas City 2. Came through the club's academy, the MLS side. There's Kurimoto. Bichev there, dispossessed, coming flying through the middle. Wes Sharpie. He's not going to have a run here at Sam Howard. Overlapping run there of McLaughlin. He'll slide him in. His dink delivery has gone sailing out into the stand in behind that goal. McLaughlin made a good run down that left. Now Ellis Hayden gone down. He would have been an important part of the tactical switch here, and now some medical treatment will be required for the right wing back.
It might be the most important part. It's the main issue here for Energy FC and Lee Wiedman with the little pinch where push Hayden up a little bit. Rogers over. Slide that back 3 together. Not the exact you're looking for out of the tunnel for Lee Wiedman.
While we have a moment, we can tell you that Select, sponsor for our broadcast since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Concern on the face there of Lee Wiedman. Zach Ellis Hayden is a big part of this side. Forward from right back and will appear in the second half right wing back. 29-year-old has had to earn every bit of his professional career. Test there on his left leg, left hip as well. A little discomfort there on the face of the City Energy fullback.
Chris, just remember that we're just in the 52nd minute now. There's already the one change at the beginning with Coronado coming off. So there's your first sub and your first window. Now halftime doesn't count as that, of course, but you do use a second sub. Looks like they are preparing Jonathan Brown to come on. So this leaves you with 2 players and only 1 window down the stretch if you want to make any more changes for Energy FC on the road.
And also without both of your starting fullbacks. So we'll see if there's further tactical adjustments required. Imagine Brown can do a job as a wing back as well. He's a winger who does a fair bit of covering defending, so you can imagine Lee Wiedman would have come up with a fairly intricate plan at halftime to try and combat Louisville. It looked as though they were switching systems. Now a key cog in that system He's gone out with injury.
There's some hesitation on the sideline, though, from Jonathan Brown, almost wondering as to whether or not that lineup card was going to be turned in. In fact, it will be. Night done for Zach Ellis-Hayden.
Gingerly trots off.
Hate to see that.
Fiedman give his side instruction as there is confirmation of the change. It's a substitution brought to you by MHS Global. Brown straight away trying to get forward down that right-hand side. Poking it away. The sliding challenge there is Wes Sharpie. Charlie Ward. Sharpie won't be credited with an assist on that second goal for Lancaster, despite forcing Carline into a save that led to Lancaster's goal, but it's very much involved in both. It's a poor touch there from the substitute Stevenson, but OKC about winning it back. Kurimoto. Here's how they're sticking to the system at the very least. Nice layoff there from Stevenson. And Ward picking out Brown on this right side. And his second stint with OKC Energy, but cheaply giving it away there. Was trying the soft layoff there for Kurimoto, but hadn't quite come across to receive. And to make amends, he puts in the foul to slow down the counter from McLaughlin.
The speed on this side for Jonathan Brown is going to be a good test for Jonathan Gómez. Have the proper balance getting up and back.
Nice little ball into Bone, who gets through the traffic, and he's picked out a third for Louisville City. Corbin Bone now handing the hosts a secure lead, his third of the year, and Louisville City are comfortably on top 10 minutes after halftime.
After the foul on the quick restart, go back to Jogo. Just right into the feet of the outside back. Watch him put this on an absolute platter. Splitting the outside all the way through. Questions asked of Sam Rogers, can't react quick enough. Beautiful touch out in front by Corbin Bone that allows him to put this in the back of the net. What brilliant combination play from Blue City.
Will continue to absolutely fly in terms of scoring goals. Now on 20 in their last 6 matches. It is remarkable, the goal scoring tally under Danny Cruz. And for the first time under Lee Wiedemann, OKC Energy have conceded 3 and will probably do well to keep it at 3, given how well the hosts are playing tonight.
Chris, one of my favorite things about the goal, obviously the build-up's fantastic, but for me it's where it occurs on the field, in what fashion, because this is off a quick restart from a dead ball. It's not like this was a counter-attack that, you know, you saw them with open space to run into. This looked like it was right off the training ground, that they had progressed 60, 70 yards down the field. That's the recognition of a team, to always be in the right place at the right time. I referenced the positioning defensively and how that allows them to spring forward. If they don't all move in perfect synchronicity on that initial movement, just prior to the foul, they're not in the right spot. You don't have the ability to put the ball down and play that quickly, and yet everybody understands where they're supposed to be, put it on the deck, and get right back to work.
McLaughlin encouraged there by Cruz, but couldn't quite get to it. And it's a second assist of the night for Jonathan Gómez, who's off to Spain at the end of the season. And as you mentioned, Devin picked up a great slid ball there. It's a heavy challenge in there from Charlie Ward, and he's going to earn himself a yellow card. Thomas Snyder has handed out now 4 in this match. And that time, the OKC Energy central midfield player.
A little bit of frustration by Charlie Ward here. There's not that much contact, but there is intent. That's a little knock on the front end. Yeah, exactly. Studs up. The consistency that you get out of Charlie Ward and Freddie Moto in the midfield. It's good balance off of each other. One of the problems you do run into is they're so good at holding shape defensively. Sometimes there is too much space out in front of them for other teams to just step into. It's a good little look at where they can get themselves into trouble. Tonight it seems like they've really been chasing their tails since the start of the match.
And it will be Aiden Daniels who'll come off here, as Jaime Chavez will be the latest to try and provide a difference on the bench. Still making attack-based substitutions. That a substitution brought to you by MHS Global. And before Louisville could make one, Lee Wiedman's made 4. Almost a change though for Danny Cruz. As Bone will play it in towards McCabe. First time flick on there and an advantage awarded. And again, referee, I don't want to start handing out yellow cards to players when on the pitch for 20 seconds, but you might leave me no choice.
This is going to change the shape up top as well. They're letting Bijev roam. That's not surprising, but now with the addition of Jaime Chavez, expect he and Frank Lopez to start to flatten out that front line to a more traditional front 3, as opposed to that stackable one with Bijev under Lopez and Daniels just stepping up to help out on the left flank.
As it's directed towards goal. Sailing over. And that long distance effort there from Cameron Lancaster.
This is shades of the free kick he hit against Red Bull too back in that record-setting season of 2018. 6-4 game. Don't necessarily see the scoreline heading that way tonight, but stranger things have happened. Chris was giving out Christmas gifts just 20 minutes ago. Get in line, maybe you'll get one. I'm not knocking it, I'm just stating facts, brother.
I think you might get a surprise in your stocking come December. Just have to gift you this energy kit. Gómez challenging to poke it out for a throw, and now does the Energy look like they found a different option. Opening stage of the second half. Have to get up off their feet. Try and create something. They are very much in a back 3 at the moment. Looks like 3-4-3 with those wing backs who right now are Stevenson and Brown pushing forward. Very all-out attacking look, as Stevenson now has options for a cross. Doesn't want to pump a ball into the penalty area. Now Chavez, nice first time flick into Bijev, who lines up a strike, and he's picked out a goal. OKC Energy, at the very least, have a lifeline now through Villian Bijev, who contributes another goal. He's got 5 goals and 2 assists on the campaign. And Energy FC with a route back in it.
With a little tweak in the shape, it allows Bijev to be more aggressive offensively. He drops down in, and it's the space to operate in underneath Chavez and Frank Lopez. Good with back to goal, but better with ball out in front. Watch the touch, the setup, and then the easy strike for Bijev. There's a lot of work to be done, but makes it look so simplistic in nature from distance.
And now maybe just the alarm bells going off here for Louisville, as they've certainly conceded a fair few in recent times. They might just calm their nerves not by locking down at the back, but by scoring another. Ombi. A bit of confidence for Lee Wiedman's side, who probably had a Murphy's Law opening hour of this one. Well, Bijev getting into it there with Sharp. He felt like he was pulled down to the ground, and the referee agrees with his assessment. It's going to be a free kick here to OKC Energy, and a yellow card as well shown to Wes Sharpie. Now things becoming a little bit unstuck here for Lou City.
Ball gets away from Wes Sharpie, gets himself into trouble, and probably doesn't account for how quickly he's under the gun here from Villian Bijev. Good recovery, and now Danny Cruz going to posture a little bit with Lee Wiedman, who has used up his allotment of subs. Finally, Cruz going to get on the act.
And now Louisville City will make their first change, perhaps as a response to this game changing a bit. Actually, a pair of changes. Alexis Suahi coming on here for Sharpie, just picked up that yellow card. There. These changes are brought to you by MHS Global, above and beyond. Omby now darting in behind. Has the option to his left of McLaughlin. Great job there by Sam Rogers just to get a little bit of a nick on it. Now in behind Gómez on the byline. Could he pick out a third assist? Gómez, couple of challenges crashing in. And it was the touch there of Connor Donovan who's managed to poke it out for a corner to Louisville.
The clouded judgment at the tail end of this for Jonathan Gómez. Great job to tuck himself in here. Knows that he doesn't have to overlap. That the little step inside is where the space is going to be, as Jimmy McLaughlin had just left that spot. Step in through. Last effort, just released it a bit earlier. Trying to pick out a trailing run, no one there. Pretty closed down.
Now a Vivify corner to come here for Louisville City. McCabe will swing it in from the left. Just confirmation of the two changes. Suahi and Del Piccolo on for Sharpie and Bone. Now McCabe's corner in towards that 6-yard box, and it needed a header away there from Sam Rogers, who certainly towers over the other defenders from OKC. Snotted it away for another corner. It's time to come from the other side. Usually Gómez takes it from the right. Del Piccolo will offer the option short. And now Gómez, who has an assist already from a corner, perhaps add a second and a third overall in the night. And is in towards that near post. It needed a header away there. Omby. McLaughlin with a good ball in. Flicked on there from Lancaster, and Ein out to claim and try and start the break here. Big switch hit there. Now John Brown at full gallop to get to that one. Trying to get beyond McLaughlin here. Appeals there that he was fouled. His low ball in is towards no one in pink and green. Now Louisville can come forward here through Brian Omby. Get to contribute to a goal in this one, despite having 6 goal contributions in his last 6.
I like the change by Wiedemann to try and chase this a little bit more and flatten out that front three. Problem is better portion of 55 minutes of this game, Chris, they were already running a bunch on the defensive front. Can you now turn it around? It's a beautiful ball over the top, just seconds prior for Jonathan Brown to extend this game, but now you're asking likes of Beachev and Frank Lopez to add on to that odometer. On the offensive side of things, track it down. About the offensive front, it has been lacking, putting it politely.
Well, we have a moment here with the ball out of play. Let's go and bring you tonight's trivia question, which is brought to you by Tony's Break and Alignment. In 2015, Louisville City beat OKC Energy by 6-2. Who led the team in goals on that day? Here are your 3 choices. Matt Fondy, Magnus Rasmussen, and Kadeem Dakers. The answer momentarily here. What'd you go for there?
Let's pick Louisville. You wonder, is it a trick question? Is what you have to ask. 6 goals, 3 players. Do they all have 2? No.
Ooh.
Which means
that could have been a great
could be a trick question, right? Option D. So it's either they all have 2 or, quick math, 3, 2, 1 is what it would have to be.
Yep.
I'm really proud of myself what I just did there. That's the quadratic equation. Lovely. You're doing proofs here in a second.
As it will be a throw in, and now let's go ahead and give you the answer to the question. The answer was Matt Fondy, who not only had a hat trick in the game, it was also Louisville City's first ever hat trick. For a player who absolutely lit up the scoreboard in 2015, Matt Fondy.
He actually still holds the record for best goals per game average. He averaged a goal every 56 minutes. That's rude.
Incredible.
Absolutely rude.
Ombi clipped off it there. Looking to come forward here, Osman. Slider for Jaime Chavez, who's at full stretch here. Also taping up his hand like Lopez does. Bijev in plenty of space. He'll get the early cross away. It was towards Lopez, but just beyond him. Chavez always tracking the ball out the other side. Can he get some help here? It's a dangerous square ball there, Kurimoto. It's not a great fluid bit of passing there. You can see just a few tired legs out there for OKC Energy. Now Del Piccolo, you can see the idea there, trying to pick out McLaughlin in behind. Jeff, 3v4 here in the attack. Carrying all the way into the penalty area, trying to square it towards Chavez, but never going to find the angle around Sean Tosh. Speaking of Louisville history, is another player now on to 10,000 minutes played. Eclipsed that when there was 55 minutes on the clock. A player demonstrating his longevity. This Louisville City side. Hearing that noise from the Louisville City supporter section, one of the best atmospheres here in the USL. Now in this palace of a ground, Lynn Family Stadium. Tyler Gibson. McLaughlin has Jonathan Gómez with him. He'll get the return ball. Decent play there from Louisville, but the cross into the penalty area rather easily dealt with there by Connor Donovan. Anchors the back three now, the club captain. Gómez. There's a threat to provide an assist every time he touches it. He's got it now on the overlap. Gómez squaring it. It's a great ball in, and crashing at the near post to Zombi. Just couldn't get a touch for Louisville's fourth.
One of my favorite things about him as he starts to move forward is the understanding, Chris, that sometimes things aren't going to be easy peasy. What I'm talking about here is the bodies in the box. You've got to hit this with some kind of pace and still allow it to whip around the outside of this back unit. Understanding that Kyle Hines going to be high off that line, challenging that near post too. Still able to get it into the danger area.
And a goal kick to come here. You can see just the kind of threat that Gómez is on the overlap. For me, one of the more impressive things that I've noticed, Devin, is just the patience when you get into those final third moments. Your coaches all the time talk about composure in the final third, and Gómez seems to have an abundance of it.
He goes from this high-flying outside back, slows it back down, then immediately picks it up, right? Now, whether it's on the byline or in a fluid moment where he's got 20 yards to work with, you're spot on. Great vision as well. He doesn't force the issue in front of him. He will take advantage of the space, but at what cost? Just because he can step into it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to have help in the box. That's the patience you talk about. Slow the game down. Let it come to you at times.
Fine, just getting rid out of pressure there. An OKC Energy goal away from this game becoming particularly nervy here for Louisville. So many goals conceded in recent times. All of a sudden they have to defend to hang on to a win. Could get nervy here at Lynn Family Stadium. Ombi. Louisville certainly liable to get a fourth, as they nearly did there through that Gómez chance. Suahi. The U.S. from France, was a player in the academy at Le Havre, one of the clubs in the French lower leagues. Club where LAFC manager Bob Bradley once coached. He's making his way through Europe. The idea there from Stevenson. Didn't quite measure correctly with the outside of his right boot. Donovan in that second ball, settling it here for Ward. Bijev, who's popped up on the left. Finding Stevenson, nice first touch away from traffic, just trying to direct it towards goal. His effort deflects off of Tosh. Now here for Brown. Now Rogers, one of the center backs, well forward. Now retreat just to get back into a position. Charlie Ward was dubbed a passing maestro when he signed. The engine room of the passing here now. Bijev with a nice first touch around one. Nice touches around two. Has to go again. What a performance this would have been if he could have picked out a second long-range effort for an OKC Energy goal. As now they have a double change here. And an introduction for George Davis IV. Kyle Gregg is with Lancaster coming off. It's going to bring you our nugget of the match, which is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Forwards Anton Openo and Cameron Lancaster have an undeniable bond. Openo assisting on 5 of Lancaster's team-leading 12 goals in the 2020 season. Unfortunately, not seeing the pitch together tonight. It's Gregg and Davis the fourth on. Lancaster will make way, as does Brian Ombie, who certainly looks like he's put in quite a shift. You know, he's slowly and deliberately walking back towards the Louisville technical area. For Davis the fourth, another player who is part of everything here at Louisville City in the last 4 or 5 years. He's actually been on USL's most experienced players. Has been in the league since 2011. 59 goals in that time. Former first team all-league player. A free kick won there by OKC Energy.
Extending his own record in regular season appearances, 237 now.
Wow.
And the closest is Taylor Mueller, former Charleston Battery great, now with Tacoma Defiance. He's sitting on 223, so right around half a season for him to catch up there. George Davis, by the way, think about this for Lou City. You just took Cameron Lancaster off, who's got 57 goals in Lou City. That's regular and postseason play. All time. You bring on Kyle Gregg and George Davis IV, who both have over 50 respectively within their careers.
Yep.
Not too shabby.
Gregg on 64 in USL. Gómez just couldn't quite settle the touch and kicked up on him. As we're entering the final quarter of an hour, it's time to start voting on tonight's Dr. Mark Lynn and Associates Man of the Match. The poll will be open for the next few minutes. Vote now at twitter.com/Lou City. Devin, who would you go for player of the match so far?
Not even a question for me. It's Jonathan Gómez. The 2 assists everybody's going to look at, but his efficiency. And I had the suspicion before looking it up just to be safe, but I've only seen him give away 2 balls tonight. Just to double check, he's actually given away 3 out of 31 passes.
Wow.
He's 28 for 31 playing off that back line.
And these aren't simple square ones. It's poor there at the back. Osman trying to leave it for Ein to clear, and instead he just played it straight out for a corner. More defending to do here for OKC Energy.
He's at 90% in the opposition's half.
Right. It's
insane.
This has not been simple play it out from the back passes. This has been hard work, and Gómez has been stellar. That's Devin Shout. You can go to twitter.com/Lou City FC to vote on your player of the match. There's a corner. Swung in here, a Vivify corner kick. Gómez has usually taken them from the right. Louisville in their sweet time. Get this one back in play. It's lofted towards that back post. Lining up the header there, Suwahi, but it went straight there off the back of Donovan. Now First time out for Suwahi again. Play it short here with Jimmy McLaughlin. Wanted to get the cross away straight away, and it's actually mishandled there by Ein, who was caught in no man's land as Kyle Gregg won the header, just couldn't direct it towards target.
He's pretty much got all the tricks of the trade. It's Lexi Suwahi playing his high line. Kyle Gregg doesn't miss many of these. It's a difficult one to pick out the near post.
And now some pressure here for Lou City. And it was actually a heavy high boot there in from Del Piccolo, and he's going to get a yellow card. Just a few minutes after coming on.
He might get really lucky here. This seems like it's a really high challenge from Del Piccolo. Watch the leg.
Ooh.
Oh boy. He's lucky on a yellow. Substitute or not, he's real lucky here. This is a very high challenge on Connor Donovan.
And it's yet another booking. We've had 6 in this match. And now OKC Energy might have a agreement here that couldn't have been harsher discipline as Brown getting forward down that right, trying to get the first time cross away. Put enough pace on it so that the deflection from Suwahi came out for a corner. Let's have another look at that challenge, Devin, just to see whether or not it should have been red.
Oof. You've got an argument there for sure. That's really high and dangerous. Studs up, leaning into it.
Now Tucker Stevenson will take the corner here for OKC Energy just to make this an interesting finale here. Lofted in, away there initially from Suwahi. Center from McLaughlin allows OKC Energy to retain possession. Sprayed out for Stevenson to play in another cross. This one with plenty of air on it. Strong header away there from Tosh. Continue to pack the crosses in. Bijev drawing the attention of 2. Played the square ball there, instead tries the low cross there, Bijev, and it comes off the back of McCabe for another throw. The longtime teammates there, McCabe and Davis the fourth, exchanging the high fives.
Chris, you get tired, you get predictable. You revert back to what you do best and what you've known success with most of your career. That's the left foot of William Bijev. They knew it too, Lou City.
Lopez there almost trying to back his way through everyone. Passed a couple, but that time lumped clear.
Ever sat back and just watch the advertising boards, just go back and just Google all the ones that come up? I find myself doing it a lot.
I'm sure the fine patrons of those advertising boards wouldn't mind that.
Right. I deal with a lot of broadcasts, to be honest.
There was one in the Premier League, where I believe it was for a company called Vitality Insurance,
yeah,
where they had a little dog that would run. It was like a digitized dog that ran down the boards.
It's clever.
And you always thought that it was like a dog that ran onto the field, but always grabbed your attention. Now Lopez trying to let it run. Couldn't quite. It's claimed there by Chris Hubbard.
We've got the ESPN2 matchup this weekend between Colorado Springs and San Antonio. San Antonio has the cat that ran on the field, and someone superimposed a cat on the corner flag, and it says defend 210. Oh, give the admins of the team accounts a raise.
McLaughlin. Not on there. More work to do as here's Brown. Second ball recovered there by Chavez. Now OKC Energy, you can see just a wave of purple. They have not settled into a deeper block. They persist with their identity. Try and make life difficult. Del Piccolo with a nice first time touch there into McLaughlin. Carrying forward into space, wants to play there with Gregg, who returns the favor. Ball just a bit wide there. Gómez. Square ball just a bit off there from Del Piccolo. Now Davis the fourth shoved in the back there by Chavez, and a free kick given away in a decent area here for Louisville City. They won't just mind the clock running here.
Chavez doesn't like the call. The other side of that argument is, Chris, don't put yourself in this position. It is a foul. You're in from behind. Is it the biggest of aggressions? Absolutely not. But you're right in front of the referee. You've got help defensively. No reason to overstep.
McCabe or Gómez over it. McCabe lofted over everyone and out for a goal kick.
Already into the Modelo bar. Come on, man. Finish the game, bro.
Louisville would go into top spot in the Central Division with a victory, and for the moment appear on their way. Necessarily been about the out and out defending. Let's switch down towards Stevenson. Now Bijev into the area. Chance here for Chavez to receive. And try and play it towards goal. Slid it back and just overcooked it. Stevenson on it once more. Section in full voice, just keeping the atmosphere going here at Lynn Family Stadium. Big switch out there towards Bijev, easily headed down there from McMahon. And Davis the fourth, just a bit of a loose ball there, out towards Gibson. Lost the momentum there to keep playing. Now Brown. And Rogers. Offside flag up there against the Bulgarian.
I didn't think it was possible for the Groove Machine to back off the drums behind the goal there. You're killing it. Rhythm's going to get you.
Another song for them to play.
Yeah, Los Morados, Groove Machine, Coopers. There you go. Sun's out, guns out.
It's great that even in midweek, big occasions, the big draws down on a Saturday night, but even on a Wednesday night, a town that has gone mad for soccer has come out to support their side here in USL.
These supporters groups put in an effort.
Yep.
Not just Lou City, obviously we're highlighting them right now, but there are plenty around the championship in general. Can't just show up and put together a show like this. Beautiful artwork on display. An opportunity to highlight some of them last season. Some cool stuff coming out of New Mexico United in terms of tifos and what the design process looks like there.
And now, interesting change here. Joshua Winder. His professional debut here. Brother of Elijah Winder is also in the side. McLaughlin will come off here, and this is a big moment. Yet another player who makes the full step from academy to first team. 16-year-old from the local area, making his debut here. And another big moment for this growing club. He's been in the squad twice, but makes his debut here tonight. He's 5 minutes here. He gets any touches on it. Morimoto sliding back. Nice. OKC energy. Just trying to get one here. Make this interesting. At the very least, kept the scoreline respectable as it's bent in behind here towards Bijev, towards the byline. The pullback is decent, but Suwahi in the way of a couple of targets. It's gone out for a corner. be Bijev who will take the corner.
Central, Charlie! Central! Central!
Lofted into that penalty area, headed away. Stevenson. Gonna run here at Winder, have a go. Never gonna trouble anyone, but it did take a deflection. And it will be a corner. Corner presented by Vivify. Louisville just gonna hang on to this 2-goal cushion as it's again whipped in. Again headed away from McMahon. Ward, let's just keep it in play here with his central midfield partner, Kurimoto. Energy FC try and continue to press on.
What an opportunity for that family within 6 months. Both of their children signed professional deals. Of course,
it's knotted on here, but far too forward there for Chavez and claimed there by Hubbard.
It's Elijah Winder making his appearance as an academy player back in 2019. But how about this youngster? No surprise there. Jonathan Gómez, man of the match.
It's decided by the supporters on Twitter. And the match presented by Dr. Lin and Associates. Had to go to Jogo. What a week it's been for him. Confirmed that he's on his way to Spain. He's reported as such.
Just think about the mental side of that, though.
Yeah.
The tugging and pulling, because it's the fact that he's still got to be a professional, as always, within his respective club at this point in time. There's the talk about where he could end up, where he might end up, where he should is another argument. The fact that still being courted by United States and Mexican federations for the national team services. Of course, recently made the preliminary roster for U.S. Men's National Team Gold Cup, not included in the final 23. Not easy to keep a, number one, a grounded head, and number two, the fact that you can continue to turn out performances. Look, everybody's going to have a bad night, right? No matter what job you're performing, you're going to have a rough one, and as a player, it's no different. But the fact that he was definitely not up to snuff the other night out, and yet still steps in here. Quality turnaround for Jonathan Gómez at the outside back spot.
Cross in there from Bijev, chested down here. It was Frank Lopez trying to take it on the volley with his left, but we've had to pick out an extraordinary bit of quality there to find it and direct it towards goal. As we are into stoppage time presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. The referee has added a minimum of 5 minutes at the end of this one. It'll be a goal kick here for Louisville. Look on their way to top spot in the Central Division. A point clear of Birmingham Legion, despite conceding nearly twice as many goals, but they've scored 15 more than Birmingham. It's another 3-goal performance from Danny Cruz's side, who now are level in total goals scored with Phoenix Rising, the best total in the USL Championship Division. Stevenson. Lofted in. Chavez is starting at the near post, but just a bit too much float on that ball. And handled there by Hubbard, the Louisville keeper.
Love the little bit of banter put forth by Elijah Winder when his brother did sign back in early June. He's, of course, Elijah Winder recovering from his injury sustained back in February of this year. Playing at the youth level in ECNL, and he just said, look, simple enough. When I'm healthy, I'm better. And that's at his little brother's press conference, signing his professional contract. You gotta love that. Imagine family dinners. Mom and dad have a bit of refereeing to do on their own, don't they?
Sam Rogers playing it into Bijev, and now OKC Energy probably at this point chasing a consolation. But certainly a good opportunity here for Louisville just to make sure they can lock down the door at the back when they need to. Too many obvious goal-scoring chances conceded by Louisville on the day. There's certainly a cracking goal scored by William Bijev. Has the one on the board for the visitors, who had 3-0 down, having made a system change, losing a couple of players to injury. Might have thought that they were in for a rough one tonight, as the ball delivered there, requiring a diving header from Tosh. Pressure could still be packed on here. Lopez turning away his left-footed effort. Rather easily dealt with there by Hubbard. But OKC, given the circumstances, bouncing back, and you won't look back on a 3-1 too unfavorably.
This is a good growing experience for them as well. And do you want to have to make those adjustments with the injuries and, you know, chasing the game? No, but it does open up options for them. I actually liked what we've seen out of them. And this is a Louisville City squad that has really dropped back in for pretty much the last 15 minutes or so. Energy FC showing that they can build through this, and really Wiedemann maybe take a look at this a little bit deeper. Of course, the quality form coming in, 3 wins over their previous 5, only the 1 loss to show for it. Defensively, been fantastic. Struggling a little bit on the offensive side of the ball, though. Not a lot of goals to their names, and you know, when they were winning, it's those 1-0 squeak outs where I was talking to you about it coming in, Chris. They go out, they score a goal, then they sit back defensively, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when things don't go your way, when the plan has to alter, what's your backup? You got to look at that tonight, injury or not. A chance for them to mess around with a few things on the training ground now, and moving forward, a team that has to carry confidence, given their recent results, that they can be part of the talking points come playoff time.
First time in towards Brown, and his cross cut out there by Gómez. He's putting the finishing touches on his man of the match performance. And now I think the noise just swell a little bit here in the supporters section as they near the full-time whistle here at Lynn Family Stadium. In there from Rogers. Flick through the area. Just one last bit of defending to do here before full time. Rogers again trying to send it through. The first time effort coming in, and that a decent save there from Hubbard. Sprawling across to his left. Nice bit of build up there from OKC Energies for one last hurrah. And there is the full-time whistle.